dear students, so let us discuss about projectile motion, another type of motion, that is projectile motion. So what is projectile motion? So projectile motion, projectile means thrown. So what is projectile motion? It comes under curvilinear motion. So projectile motion, when if we throw a body and the body is moving under the action of gravity, under the influence of gravity alone, without propelled by any fuel, that is projectile motion. For example, let a cricketer throw a ball from the boundary to the wicket keeper. The motion of the cricket ball comes under projectile motion. If a wicket boy thrown a stone, that is projectile motion. That means when the cricket ball moving, it moves under the action of gravity or the influence of gravity alone. Inside it there is no fuel, inside it there is no engine. For example, if a rocket is launching, if a aeroplane is take off of aeroplane, this is not projectile motion because it is influenced by fuel. It have a engine, so this is not projectile motion. A bullet fired from the gun, that is the example of projectile motion. That means initially you have to give some motion to the body, then the body moves under the action of gravity alone. Under the action of gravity alone means, how can we understand under the action of gravity alone? That means when a body moving in the influence of gravity, when the body is moving in upward direction, its velocity, its speed gradually decreases, and at the top its velocity becomes 0. Then it is attracted by the earth's gravity, then it comes back towards the earth. This type of motion is known as the influence of gravity, the motion influence under the influence of gravity. The projectile motion is a two-dimensional motion. Remember, projectile motion is a two-dimensional motion. It have a x component, it have a y component. Later we will discuss that. During projectile motion, the horizontal velocity remains the same. It's very important point. It have two components. The motion have two components, two velocity. It have a horizontal velocity, it have a vertical velocity. Then the resultant of horizontal and vertical velocity is the projectile motion. So always the horizontal velocity remains constant. It is uniform in nature. And the vertical velocity changes because it is affected by the gravity. It moves under the influence of gravity. Then let us discuss, this is a type of projectile. So projectile fired at an angle theta with horizontal. This is in our course. Projectile fired with an angle theta with horizontal. This, study this figure. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. In this position, let you have to throw a projectile with a velocity u, making an angle theta with horizontal. This is horizontal, this is vertical, and this horizontal is uniform in nature, vertical is non-uniform in nature because it have affected by gravity, and the acceleration is acceleration due to gravity, small g. And since it is thrown in this direction, it have two components. In the previous class in scalar and vector, we have already discussed about splitting of vector. So velocity is a vector quantity. So this velocity can be split. This is known as the resolution of vector. We can resolve this velocity. It have a horizontal component, that is u cos theta. It have a vertical component, that is u sin theta. This horizontal component u cos theta remains constant, and this velocity, vertical component u sin theta, this is when it is moving from O to P, it is gradually decreases. Here the vertical component is u sin theta, then decreases. In this position its velocity 0. Vertical velocity u sin theta becomes 0, then increases, then increases. This is non-uniform in nature. So projectile fired at an angle theta with horizontal. Consider a particle fired with a velocity u at an angle theta with horizontal. So the projectile rises a highest point P, then falls back to Q. P, then falls back to P. So it also cover two displacement. Horizontally it will cover some distance, vertically it will cover some distance. Horizontally it will cover the distance x, and vertically it will cover the distance y maximum. Okay. Then, so resolving u in two components, u cos theta along horizontal direction, then u sin theta along vertical direction. Okay. Since acceleration due to gravity g has no component in this direction, it is uniform in nature. But in vertical direction, since g acts exactly opposite, then it is non-uniform in nature. So it is very important to understand this figure. This figure is very, very important. If you understand this figure, then you understand 90%. Then in every type of motion, in this motion also we will discuss about various things like displacement, velocity, acceleration. Displacement means what is the maximum height it attain, what is the maximum height it attain, this is the maximum height it attain, what is the horizontal range, these are the two displacement. Then velocity, then what is the time taken from O to P, what is the total time taken from O to Q, like we will discuss everything. So let us discuss one by one. First, what is the equation of trajectory? First, trajectory means path. When you throw a projectile with a velocity u making an angle theta, then in which type of path it will move? It will move in a curved path, bending path. So we have to calculate what is the equation, whether it is a circle, parabola, semi-parabola, what mathematically we have to calculate this. This is known as equation of trajectory. So horizontal equation motion, since it have two equation of motion, because it have two component, horizontal component, vertical component. So it have two equation of motion, horizontal equation of motion, vertical equation of motion. So horizontal equation of motion, x is equal to velocity into time, u cos theta into t, u cos theta horizontal component into t. Vertical equation of motion, s is equal to ut plus half t square, s के जगह u, y, u means vertical velocity, the vertical velocity is u sin theta into t minus half gt square. Putting the value of t from equation 1, t is equal to x by u cos theta. Putting the value of t from equation 1 in equation 2, we find y is equal to u sin theta by x by u cos theta in minus half g into x by u cos theta square. So y is equal to x tan theta, u cancel, sin theta by cos theta tan theta, divided by gx square divided by 2u square cos square theta. This equation satisfies the equation of a parabola. What is the equation of a parabola? Y is equal to ax minus bx square. Y is equal to ax minus bx square. So ax here a means constant, a के जगह tan. So ax minus bx square. So this equation satisfies the equation of a parabola. Hence the motion of the projectile is parabolic in nature. The motion of the projectile is parabolic in nature. Parabolic. So this is the path is parabolic. The path is parabolic. So the question may arise like this: prove the path of the projectile is parabolic when a projectile is thrown making an angle theta with horizontal. So the path is parabolic. The path is parabolic.